Hi, everybody. We're back for another episode of In the Black. I'm Janelle.
I'm Tre'elle. Hey, y'all.
Trail, how are you feeling today?
I feel good. I feel full and yeah, ready to conquer the next half of the day. How about
Yes,
you?
we are running this like a actual job. So we had our lunch break just now.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what you have for lunch?
I had Chipotle.
Okay.
So good. Honey chicken
Yeah.
Chipotle. I'm not sure if it's as good as it was last year, but
Mm,
still good nonetheless. I think they did something with the recipe.
they always messing up.
It was
Keep
so good.
something clean. I had me some leftover ribs I threw in the air fryer, some cheesy grits and okra.
Fancy,
Yeah, girl,
fancy.
I ain't gonna lie. That drink was so good. Man. But let's go ahead. Let's jump into this here conversation. I'm excited to talk about this because I think it's something that many entrepreneurs need to hear. So let's jump into this thing, Janelle.
Yeah, so today's topic is supposed to be emotional tax. Last episode we were talking about, well, actually the episode before that was about pivot. And when you pivot, there is always an emotional tax when you make any type of transition. So today we're going to talk about the cost of the transition. And yeah, let's just start there.
Okay.
With you changing from Target Brand at the agency to this new business, new brand that you're developing. How are you feeling?
Now I'm feeling much better. At first, it felt like death because this is something that I have done for so long since 2018. It's been a part of my identity for a long period of time. It's something that I could comfortably run back to even when I leave positions at another job and everything. Great career choice, but not great for me because I had something that I was developing. So it was really a part of my identity and who I am. I started Tag It Branded when I transitioned out of the military. So it's the first job other than the military that I had. And now you're telling me that I'm transitioning and changing into something different, and I have no idea what it is. I just know that I have to do something different. It feels literally like death. And transitioning from that level of grief, declining clients, and staying true to what I believe is the right path for me, it's been challenging. You have moments where you want to just turn on your system and just go back at it, just throw a post up there and then boom, 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 boom. Then you're like, financially, you're not making any money at this time. You're choosing to not make money. So now that's stressful. And then when things get a little tight and you know how to make it not be tight, but you're holding on to it because you believe in something greater is challenging. You know what I mean? And I think I'm just coming into the it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Your health is better, and you're going to be stronger when you come back, and it's going to be even better than before. Holding on to that glimmer of hope is all that I have, but I'm in a much better state of being than I was when it was just fresh, when I decided to cut it all off.
Yeah. That you said a lot in that. And so I wrote some notes. I want to break down what you said.
Okay.
You said if you felt like death. And I went with death comes mourning. And so I feel like the time that you've been in lately and that you're coming out of, what you're describing is a mourning period.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You've gone through there's the phases of grief. And I feel like you've gone through all of the phases
Hmm.
and you've been mourning your business. But I also want to add into this that your business is your baby. I know when I get a new idea, it's like I'm birthing a baby. I'm birthing my idea, right? So, yeah,
Hmm.
when you got out the military, you birthed your baby, and the baby has gone through his whole cycle. It's become a child, it's become a teenager, it became an adult, and then it died. And so, literally, like you're mourning your baby.
Mm. That is true because you wanna hold on to what you create, you know what I mean? It's like you wanna hold on to the seed, you wanna hold on to the moments where it gave you all of your firsts, you know what I mean? It gave you a first paycheck or, an invoice getting paid, and then, as you continue to grow and develop, the first business, it always gives you all of your firsts, so of course you don't wanna see it. I won't even say die, I would say it is blooming into something new, which is still a death. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
seed will know you can never go back to being a seed. You can never, like you said, you can never go back into your childhood. You know what I mean? You can never go back to these stages. It just has to be what it is. It has to be either seed, it has to be a root, it has to be a plant or whatever. It has to emerge from the sun, it gets scorched, like it's just so many unpredictable transitions that happens when you're a business owner as you're getting into growth and scale. But when you decide to be like, yeah, we're gonna pull the plug, well, you gotta pull the plug on something that has been giving you life, that has been sustaining, that give you the big like great opportunity. Yeah, you're gonna mourn, you're gonna grieve, it's gonna hurt. So yeah, so I said like that's well said.
So now you finish mourning, but through that process, you were stressed out because
Girl. Go ahead. Yeah, like girl, I just whew,
there's all
yeah.
different types of stress that come with death, right? We have to bury the business, so tie up all the loose ends. We have to have a funeral, say, okay, this is we're closing this out. We have to make an announcement, whatever it may be, in whatever way that we decide that, whether it's just with our family, spouse, friends, whatever it is, we're making an announcement about this. And then there's the financial stress of everything, right? Because you
Absolutely.
no longer have that money coming in that your business was once making you. So my question for you is how do you handle the stress and all in all of this?
So for me, I'm really grateful and blessed to have my husband, right, who has helped me through this transition, whether that is give me your resume, I'm about to update that. I'm going on these different job interviews. And that's only because this is what I was going after at that point in time. But he's also like, rest, like I got you, like I got the house. You know what I mean? Take the time that you need because I know that your healing is your priority. I'm grateful to have the man that I have in my life. Also, holding true to my faith and just trusting and believing that all things work together, for the good. So whether Tag It Branded is alive or whatever, it's going to transcend into whatever it's going to be. I'm still going to take everything that I've done for the past 9 years and it's going to live on. It's going to like live through whatever is to be created or whatever at this time or however it moves. So I have this hope that it's again, this hope. Like there's something that says hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. And so when my hope is no longer in the light of it's going to work out, I'm sick and I can go back to that. You know what I mean? That sickness, like, I can pick it back up. And I'm like, no, let that go, just let that be, let that whatever, whatever. So I just would say being able to have a helpmate, being able to have faith and being able to know that I am confident that when I get to the other side, it just is just going to be so much better than what I could imagine. Like, let it go, let it go, let it grow, let it do whatever it has to do. And let me get rid of control. And I think that's one of the most challenging parts of it is I was in control. I knew I could predict, I could, do all of these things. And now that that's not happening, I no longer have that sense of control, that sense of familiarity because I'm now entering into the unknown.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I'm just curious as to people who don't have a helpmate, don't have a partner. What suggestions do you have for them to handle stress?
For me to handle stress, it's one to move, right? Slow down. I felt like the thing that I said is I have to learn how to close the tabs in my mind, right? All the tabs that I had running in the background when I'm doing business, having this like, I just had to learn how to close the tabs. And a part of that was to like just slow down, like take a break, take a breath. The weather's breaking now, so I'm going outside. I'm going out for a walk. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there. And I started doing a different type of workout. So not even it's not familiar. Nothing is I've never done the things that I'm doing at this point in time. So I'm doing something that I've never done before that takes me away from the things that I'm used to doing and it's challenging me so I don't have the time to really think about what I would think about with the tabs open. I'm thinking about something new. And then another thing is getting educated again, going back, strengthening my intellect, going back to school, listening to different books and stuff, listening to the suggestions that come from my peers, you know what I'm saying, including Janelle, okay? And just being able to just do something that I have never done before, change my old habits by introducing new ones. And that's one of the ways that I can handle the stress because I'm stressing about learning something new than stressing about the things that I used to do. Yeah,
That was good. That was good.
yeah,
So what I'm hearing is change your environment. Go out and do something new. Get yourself
absolutely.
a new perspective on life.
Absolutely. One of the exercises I used to do, this is when Tag and Brandon was also taking another shift and I yeah, I was in a transition period and I challenged myself to do something different every day. So if I'm going for a walk in my neighborhood, I'm going to walk a different path. I won't walk the same walking trail. I'll walk in a different direction or I'm going to look at something new. I'm going to find something else to fixate on and be like, I've never seen that before. I didn't even know it. At the end of that whole journey, I found that we had walking trails that cut through the woods, that there were bridges in that walking trail that connected me to the other sides of the neighborhood so I don't have to get in my car to get to the next neighborhood. I could literally walk through the trail and get to the other side. Waterfront property with picnic benches and all that. Like I would have never known. And all I did was look for the path for that season of my life. Just look for a path. Look for the ones that like literally had footprints. Like literally a little path, and that little path had opened up to so much. I had no idea that my community had offered such beautiful landmarkers. All I had to do was just look for something differently. And there was always some type of indention in the ground for me to follow and just explore. So yeah, I just walked around this neighborhood in different directions. If I have to walk backwards to see something different, if I got to fixate on the ducks moving, like just really shifting the mental capacity and putting it into something different, which means I had to change my environment. And it started in my mind first before I could see it in my reality.
That reminded me of that Robert Frost poem about taking the road less traveled,
Mm,
right? So you saw small indentions, right? But it wasn't fully mapped out. It was just kind of there a little bit. So it was a road less taken.
absolutely.
Everybody's going on a path that everybody else is doing. Let's copy whatever, and they're expecting the same results as everybody else, and that's not how it works. But taking the path less taken creates you can create and pave your own path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember when I was in Hawaii and we flew from Honolulu to Maui because Honolulu was like overpacked and it was very Busch Gardens to me. I don't know how to explain it. So we get on this flight to Maui to Honolulu. It's just a few minutes, right? And rent this Jeep and drive around the entire island on this mountain, right? And there were signs that said scenic lookouts. There we go, scenic lookouts. So you pull your little Jeep over, then you go and you see the scene and take your little photos or whatever. But then there were just paths that, again, those little small indentions. And so I parked the car and we walked that path. And when I tell you, it was just like you just went from bushy like grass or whatever to this just drop off, and you just see waves crashing. Like it was just like it was so breathtaking. Like I was just like, oh my, can I just honor this moment? Sam, just give me a few seconds. I need this moment, girl. When I tell you, I just been having a, and then the wind started blowing. I had a whole encounter in that moment. So that's the high of me looking for those moments in the rest of my life. Like if I can just follow, if I just see a little ability to access, that's just what I'm gonna do. And I'm looking for that moment, that I'm still,
Mhm.
even for me right now, is looking for that, like this is it. This is the moment. Like this is what it was all about. So yeah.
That's so good. It actually leads me to my next question because you made a decision to pivot. We're going to use our word pivot because you were gaining clarity, right? From
Mhm.
Target branded the agency to Target branded whatever you're building next. How did
Mhm.
you make that decision? What signs? Because a lot of people are probably like seeing the signs, but they're like, that's I want to keep going. I want to stay where I am. So what was it for you?
When I was no longer creating from joy, I no longer enjoyed what I was doing. It felt like a heavy weight more than something that I'm willing to wake up to. Also, the client that we talked about the last time, I felt like she was the straw that broke the camel back. Like I was just like was bearing it for a while, like I can do it. I'm gonna just kind of bypass how I'm feeling, the exhaustion, the frustration, the whatever. But after that, I started to turn bitter, and that is never the emotion that you want to have about something that you love. You know what I mean? Like, you never want, if you're going to talk about this being my child or, like, I don't want to become bitter. And I started feeling those emotions that were negative, and that's not what I wanted to pour from. So my heart was heavy. I did not enjoy what I was doing. And I was just like, no amount of money is worth it. I know they say money can't buy happiness. Money can do a lot of things, but it was not fulfilling those needs in my life that made me feel like I am doing something that is actually contributing to the bettering, yeah, to they make the world a better place. I'll say it like that. And I was losing my spark. My fire was really going dim. And I either could try to set it ablaze and do something different and pivot. But I'm like, at this point in time, I done used I've exhausted all of my creative efforts, my creative being. I don't have it in me, and I'm not going to continue to let it stress me out. You know what I mean? It started invading my sleep. I'm no longer at peace. I don't even want to check my emails no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm turning off my notifications. So I was just like, those were the signs that I was experiencing. I was no longer in joy. I was now in burden, and I don't ever want to build from that place.
Yeah, I feel like if you are gaining clarity, let me put it this way. Gaining clarity is one of the hardest things that you will ever do. And it's not something that stops. As you continue to grow and develop, you will constantly gain clarity. It may get easier as you learn how to manage yourself and your mind and all the things that you're doing. But that journey is very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I can just feel it because again, y'all, like I'm coming out of it and I'm seeing new things arise, and it's just like, oh, finally, we almost to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? Like we almost there, but like, girl, like the transition. I want to stay here for a few moments because I don't think we account for the transition seasons in our life. We all like to turn up in spring. We all love a good summer. Some people love the fall, and some people just thrive in the winter. But no one talks about how unstable the environment is when we're transitioning from season to season. This is where sicknesses and stuff happen. This is when you start to have to get the flu shot or, whatever to build your immunity. You have to prepare for the transition. It's just so happened when you are here in entrepreneurshipville, you don't have a map or a temperature or a history that can tell you about your transition season, like the choices and the decisions that you're making. We know fall is coming into the winter. It's time to get our jackets. It's time to change the color in fashion. We going from yellows to orange and browns and all of that. Like we can talk and tell because of lived learned experiences and history how to transition from the season, how to boost your immunity. But when you're in transition from your creation, from your ideas and your ideation to execute, like no, there's no blueprint. Or I have not had the blueprint to transition well. Oh, I just had to just thug it out and like, oh shoot, I need a jacket, man. The day is cold, but dang it, I didn't know. So now I just gotta thug out shivering and you know what I'm saying, rubbing, trying to make things happen, trying to heat things up. Money's starting to freeze up, you know what I'm saying? I gotta figure out how to, so it was just like, yeah, no one really tells you about the transition season and how emotionally taxing that is.
I want to add to that because you gave a great description of your business is also seasonal. So there are certain things that you should be doing in each season literally the season. So a certain thing you're supposed to be doing in the summer, spring, fall, winter. And even if you don't have like an ice cream business and everybody's buying in the summer, your business is still a seasonal business
Mhm.
because there are times when things slow down and you need to hamper down and you need to get focused and do the back end of your business. When things are slow, you should be doing the back end of your business, right?
Mhm.
When things are ramped up, you're not worried about the back end. You're just there making money, 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 and you'll reconcile everything later.
Yeah.
So all of those have transition time frames that you have to focus on. And so as you're doing your business, you'll learn what the transition is, when your high season is, when your low season is, and what to do in between the times and from transition to the transition. So
Yeah. That's an amen right there. That was a preach.
I do want to tell everybody that there is a psychological reality with each transition and pivot. This is not anything where it's like, "Oh my god, I'm so crazy. And this is not normal." No, you are a person, you are a human being in a role as an entrepreneur. There are emotions, there are factors, there are decisions that you are making based on your mentality, your mindset. So you want to make sure that you are not being extra hard on yourself, thinking that you can't handle this. Like, I can't cut it as an entrepreneur because I'm going through this, that, and the third. No, this is like literally a roller coaster.
Mhm.
And in the transition, it's typically in the down. So you got to ride that roller coaster till you can take it back.
This okay, y'all, this pulls on my electrical background, right? We mentioned in a few episodes or conversations before this the through line, the thorough line, and how that speaks to like it's like literally your baseline. It's like the timeline of life. Like, you know what I mean? And oh, let me see. Do I have an expo marker? Does it work? All right. So let me just grab this little board because y'all familiar with it, right? And I know y'all can see it. So if we got our thorough line, like this is our reality or whatever. Ooh, that's a terrible line, you guys. Hold on. If we have our reality and we have these ebbs and flows in life, I'm telling you, current is one of the biggest preaches, one of the greatest parables to life that I have ever experienced. I did not know why I chose interior communications as my job. God knew. It really speaks to me about life. So we have our baseline, right? That's your through line. But when we're talking about entrepreneurship and this roller coaster, it's like a sine wave, right? So you go up, down, whatever. The measurement from the throw line to here, that's your peak, and then you have your bottom line. That's another peak, but in the negative, right? No one, and then when you do the formula from here to here, that's like one wavelength, one cycle. This is the data. This is the area where you get all the data necessary from the highs of your life. What did you do well? You know, you're on this high, your business is busting, you're making all of this revenue, but then it gets to the transition where all right, seasons are changing, people money kind of drying up. You know, maybe tax season is over and they ain't got the money to, well, however you want to think about it. Now you have to figure out this area. No one talks about this place. No one talks about this valley. Nobody even want to hang out with you if you in this place because everybody glamorize the high but never the low. You know what I mean? Not everybody's going to be vulnerable. Everybody want to see and be perceived as I'm the guru, I'm the expert, but no one talks about this place. And this is the place that happens when you transition or when you're pivoting and you're going from something that you're comfortable, you're familiar with, you're making six figures, seven figures year over year, and then all of a sudden something happens. Maybe something unexpected happened. Maybe COVID happened. Something comes in and knocks you off the high and brings you to the valley. How are you going to experience like who are you going to become here? You know, who are you going to become here? And so that's what I thought about when you mentioned that like the highs and the lows, the ebbs and the flows. There is current that shows you that we need both. We need both. This is actually life that happens here. And the more life you live, the more cycles you'll have and the more and stronger you can grow the pulse and all of that kind of stuff. But we can go get into all of that. I just had to show that just for a few seconds. Thank you guys for your time.
And the more data you'll get. If you want to see Triel's drawing and you're just listening to the podcast, you can definitely check out the video of this on YouTube so you could see what we're drawing and what we're describing so you can see our cute faces. Just kidding. But guys, thank you
Yes.
so much for listening and checking us out today. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, y'all. Peace out.
Bye.